is an opportunity to put a bunch of money in your pocket. And we're going to do it through a new technology that we are introducing to the world. And when I say new technology, what does that do for you? Does that make you sit up and kind of pay a little bit more attention, or does it make you go, oh man, I'm not very tech savvy? Well, I'll tell you what, you don't have to be tech savvy to understand what I'm going to tell you here tonight, and you can still make an awful lot of money. But I hope you see it. You guys, I hope you see it the way that I saw it 3 years ago when I was first introduced to it. I hope you see it the way the person who invited you here tonight sees it, obviously, because timing is everything. And I'll give you an example of that. In my lifetime, I remember when nobody had a cell phone. And today, 98% of the people in North America have a cell phone. I remember when nobody had the internet, right? There was no such thing as the internet. And today, in North America, 100% of the people have access to the internet. I remember when Amazon sold books online. They were a book company that sold their books online. And today, Amazon has completely redefined the way that we shop. In my lifetime, I remember when Netflix would mail you a DVD, you would watch the movie, and then you would mail it back to them. There was no streaming service whatsoever. Well, guys, think about this. What if you were the first person to have a cell phone? What if you were the first person to have the internet? What if you were the first person that really understood what Amazon and Netflix were all about? And you had the ability to share those concepts with the people that you know. And they had the opportunity to share it with the people that they knew, and so on and so on and so on. Would your financial situation look maybe a little bit different today? And obviously the answer is yes. That is the position that you are sitting in here tonight. And once again, that is a big, bold statement to make. But I've been doing this now for 3 years, and we are just introducing it to the world, and we're introducing it to you tonight. This is a technology that the world wants. But the exciting part is they don't even know it exists. And that's where you come in. I am going to share with you this technology that is unlocking human potential. And it's unrivaled. And unrivaled simply means that there's nobody in the world who has this. There's nobody who can get it. And I'll explain that a little bit more as we go along. But the founder of this technology, his name is Jay Dhaliwal. He said, I'm here to build something generational that will transform the world. Anything else is a waste of time. Now, his technology is disruptive. But disruptive technology has always changed the world, and it always will. And when I talk about disruptive technology, let me give you a few examples. The automobile, very disruptive technology. Air travel, very disruptive technology. Electricity, very disruptive technology, right? Those technologies really disrupted the world. But think about this for a second. Think about living today without your automobile, without the ability to jump in an airplane, without electricity. Think about that. Today we can't even think about not having those luxuries in our life. And the technology that I'm going to introduce to you tonight falls into that exact same category. And Jay's technology is solving a really big problem. And when you solve big problems, that creates really big opportunities. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest problems that we have in the world today, and that's global wellness. And if you look at my screen here, some of these circles, guys, look in the middle. 6 billion people on this planet have trouble sleeping at night. 6 billion. How about 1.6 billion people suffer from chronic aches and pains? 2.4 billion people suffer from high stress and anxiety. Or 2 billion people suffer from low energy. Guys, that's why the energy drink market is a $73 billion a year industry. The energy drink market, right? Well, if you look at this screen, some of you are like, yeah, that's me. I'm absolutely contributing to some of these statistics. But all of us are looking at this screen going, I know people who fall into these categories. All right? Well, we know what the big problem is. What is the current solution? Well, look what's front and center. Drugs. You know, we live in a world today where people that we trust are telling us that you need to take this drug, this drug, this drug, this drug, this drug, but you're also going to have to take this drug to offset the effects of this drug. And almost everybody goes, okay, and they just fill their counters up with prescription drugs without even thinking about the consequences. Because you guys, there are big time side effects with those drugs, right? So we know what the big problem is. We know what the current solution is. What are some of the challenges and risks with the current solution? Well, I just mentioned it. Guys, number one, it's side effects. See, if you watch a drug commercial, whether it's on TV, whether it's, you listen to it on the radio, or whether you listen on social media, if that drug commercial is 30 seconds in length, 15 seconds of that commercial talks about the side effects. Talks about everything that could go wrong with the drug they are trying to sell you. And once again, most people just go, okay, I guess I'll take that chance. I look at it today and go, no, that's okay. I'd rather just have the disease, please, right? So we know what the big problem is. We know what the current solution is. We know what the risks are with the current solution. What do you think people would really want? Okay? You know, when I talk about 6 billion people having trouble sleeping at night, instead of going to prescription drugs that have all of these side effects, what do you think they would rather have? Guys, don't you think people would rather have something that's 100% drug-free, that's tested, that's low cost so that everybody can afford it, that's child safe, easy to use, and absolutely no side effects whatsoever? Wouldn't that be amazing if there was something like that? And some of you that are watching this right now, you're going, yeah, but Steve, there's no way. That would be amazing, but it doesn't exist. Yes, it does. And that's why you are here tonight. Guys, the bottom line is this. People want a new approach. People are looking for a breakthrough. And that breakthrough is in the form of the Super Patch Company and these amazing little tiny patches. The uniqueness of this patch is that there's nothing on it. It's a small little patch. It's only 2 inches by 2 inches, and there's nothing on it. There are no drugs, no stimulants, no supplements, no vitamins, no chemicals, no ingredients whatsoever. The only thing that's on this patch is this pattern. And this pattern has ridges on it. And when those ridges come in contact with your skin, the receptors in your skin can read the pattern like a QR code. And it sends a message back to your brain to fix things. And listen, I know that sounds ridiculous, but you know what else sounded ridiculous? Cell phones. That sounded ridiculous. Air travel sounded ridiculous. Electricity sounded ridiculous. Netflix sounded ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but it works. We've got a patch that will help people with balance, stability, and range of motion. We have another patch that will help people deal with pain. We've got another patch to help people deal with sleep issues. 6 billion people need that patch today, right? We've got another patch that will help people focus. We've got a patch to help people deal with stress and anxiety. 2.4 billion people need that patch. We've got a patch to help with your complexion. Yeah, wait till you see the before and after pictures with our Lumi patch. We've got a patch to help you burn more calories at rest. Okay, now I've got your attention, right? Seriously, if this was the only patch that we had to offer, we could be $1 billion company. Because people want to burn more calories without doing any work, right? The average person burns about 2,000 calories a day. The average metabolic rate is about 2,000 calories a day by simply wearing our Ignite patch the average person is going to burn an extra 25% or 500 calories a day just by simply wearing the patch. We've got a patch to help people build their immune system. That's always a good idea. We've got a patch to help people with their mood. And the best way that I can explain the joy patch is that if you just feel like there's a cloud over your head, you're just having a bad day, you throw this joy patch on, the sun comes out. I know, it sounds ridiculous. We've got a patch to help you overcome your bad habits. Yeah, now you got to figure out what your bad habits are, right? And I'm not just talking about smoking and drinking and gambling. Maybe it's the home shopping network. Maybe it's biting your fingernails. Maybe it's too much junk food. Yeah, we've got a patch for that. We have a patch for overall athletic performance. We have one to put more passion back into the bedroom. Yep, I said it out loud. We have a patch for that, okay? We also have a patch for clarity. Now this is the flow patch, and this is by far my favorite patch because this is the patch that is going to help people with memory. It's going to help people with decision making. And it's also going to help your brain coordinate information. That's a patch that I wear every single day. And then finally, our energy patch, and this is very, very quickly becoming our number one patch. It's called Boost. And this is our energy patch called Boost. I already told you that the energy drink market is a $73 billion a year industry. And listen, I know I don't have to tell you that because you walk into any convenience store and the shelves are stocked with Red Bull and Monster energy drinks. And then you go check out and the 5-hour energies are right there. Well, how would you like to have the boost of energy that those products give you without any of the side effects, without any of the crash? That is what Boost is all about. Now, you're looking at 14 patches here. You can wear all 14 patches at the same time. I said, listen, if you're a hot mess and you know who you are, if you're a hot mess, you can wear all 14 of these patches at the same time. Why? Because each patch has a different pattern on it that sends a different signal to a different part of your brain so they don't short circuit one another or anything like that. The patches are water resistant. So you can swim with them, you can shower with them, you can exercise with them. All we're going to ask people to do, switch them out every 24 hours because at the end of 24 hours, the adhesive starts to wear off a little bit. The pattern actually starts to wear down a little bit, making them a little bit less effective. But put your business caps on for just a second. That makes these patches a consumable product. We want people wearing these patches every single day. The patches are made by 3M. 3M makes all of our patches for us in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So it is a medical grade adhesive. There's no latex in these patches, and we are registered with the FDA. Now, probably the best way to explain how these patches work is to show you how these patches work. I want to introduce you to Brandy. And I met Brandy about 3 years ago when I was doing a live event, and she came up to me at the end of the event and she said, hey, I have a really hard time walking up and down a flight of stairs. Do you have something to help me? And the people that I was with, we kind of smiled and we said, yeah, man, we've got something for you. So I want you guys to watch Brandy walking up and down a flight of stairs with and without wearing the technology. All right, this video is 1 minute in length. Here we go.
How many years have you had an issue going up and down the stairs?
Since I was 33, I'm 46, so you can do the math, I can't.
13 years.
Thank you.
Go ahead, John. Please be careful. Okay, I'm going to put the Liberty patch on her right now. And she's going to do all of that again.
And by the way, just walking up and down this many times, usually I'm in a lot of pain too, and that's not as bad.
This is her third time doing it. There you go.
It's amazing. Utterly amazing.
Brandy said it is amazing. It is utterly amazing. She actually did that 3 times before we decided, you know what, maybe we should put this on tape to show the rest of the world. We changed Brandy's life in 1 hour after we introduced her to the super patch technology. Now, the question is, how? It's like, seriously, Steve, how does this work? Because you guys, I felt exactly the same way. I'm like, come on. You're trying to tell me that all I have to do is put this little patch on my arm that has nothing on it, and it's going to help me with pain? It's going to help me with balance walking up and down the stairs? Come on. And so I went and I met with Jay Dollywall, the gentleman who invented this technology, and I walked into his office and I said, Jay, I don't get it. How does this work? And he gave me this long scientific explanation. I said, Jay, that sounds amazing, but I'm not a neuroscientist. I would never use terms like that. How am I supposed to explain this to my friends? And he said, Steve, here's how you explain it. And guys, this is what got me. He said, Steve, I need you to close your eyes and hold out your hand. So I did. And he put a pen in my hand. And he said, what's in your hand right now? I said, Jay, it's a pen. He goes, how do you know? Your eyes are closed. How do you know? I said, Jay, because I know what a pen feels like. He said, exactly. He said, your skin is sending a message to your brain that says, this is a pen. He said, Steve, I could have put anything in your hand and you would have known what it was without looking at it. He said, I've just figured out a way to create a pattern that when it touches your skin reads it, sends a message back to your brain to fix things. He calls it Braille for the brain. And I just looked at him and I said, okay, Jay, so what you're telling me then is that you have a drug-free, chemical-free solution for all of those issues? He goes, yes. I said, I'm in. I said, Jay, I'm in. I said, Jay, I've been doing this at the time, it was 32 years. I said, I've been doing this for 32 years, and I've never seen anything like this. And I said, Jay, you've got something here that can change the world. And he smiled at me and he said, that's why I called you. And I said, all right, let's go to work. Now, since then, Jay has come up with a very short 1 minute and 30-second video that explains the science behind these patches. Because listen, we are never going to be the experts. You have a 0% chance of convincing your friends that you are a neuroscientist. You have no chance fooling them, okay? And so when somebody says to me, Steve, how does it work? Well, I can give them the old pen example, or I can say, watch this video. I want you guys to take a look. It is 1 minute and 30 seconds long. Here we go.
Super Patch is the most advanced wearable technology in the market, with 15 plus years of research and development. Super Patches are 100% drug-free, non-invasive, and backed by science. Our skin absorbs and transmits information from many different types of stimulation. Every physical, emotional, and psychological function has a corresponding neural code or message in our brain that controls and regulates it. Due to factors such as injury, stress, genetics, etc., these neural codes can get disrupted, leading to poor health, wellness, and performance. At Super Patch, we've decoded these neural messages that manage the neural control of physical, emotional, and psychological functions. Every single Super Patch has a unique pattern of ridges in it, similar to a QR code. When these ridges come in contact with our skin, the receptors in and around our skin send a message to our brain which then decodes it. This intricate pattern of ridges is known as vibrotaktil technology, or VTT for short. When the patch stimulates the skin receptors, it generates and sends a very complex signal to our brain to correct the specific neural codes that may be disrupted. The effects are almost immediate, so you focus less on overcoming wellness and quality of life challenges and more on living a happier and healthier life. Whether it's improving your sleep, enhancing your sports performance, or unlocking other life-enhancing benefits, Super Patch has you covered. Try Super Patch today and start your health and wellness journey.
A very simple explanation. Now, the question is, how do we take all of this and actually turn it into an income stream? Because I guarantee you this is what's going to happen. When you get this technology on your skin and you feel it work, because we've got some patches that work instantly. Like you put a patch on, you start feeling a certain way, you take the patch off, the feeling goes away. And when you feel the technology, there's no way that you can unring that bell. And you know people who can benefit from this technology. And if you go share this with them, the company will pay you. The company will pay you a ridiculous amount of money for something that we would do for free. And we've got advantages. We've got 8 advantages that other companies do not have. Now, I don't want you to read the screen right now. There's way too many words on this screen. I'm going to walk through this with you very, very quickly. But the first advantage that we have is that we're globally protected. Guys, nobody's doing this. Nobody has this technology. Nobody can get it. You can't find another company that is selling the super patch technology. It doesn't exist. And somebody said to me, they said, well, how is Jay protecting this? Does Jay have a patent on this? And the answer is no, this is not patented. Because when you patent something, you have to give away your secrets. Coca-Cola is not patented. Kentucky Fried Chicken is not patented. This is intellectual property. The way Walt Disney protects Mickey Mouse is the same way that Jay protects the super patch technology. And we are protected in 186 countries so far. Number 2, we can maximize the market. I don't care if you're male, if you're female, I don't care what color your skin is, and frankly, I don't care what age you are. If you have skin, we have a patch for you. The patches work. We've got some patches that work instantly. We are compliant. Guys, I already told you that we're registered with the FDA, and there's no changes required. Nobody has to make any drastic changes to their lifestyle to wear these patches. It's as easy as putting on a Band-Aid. They are priced right. I promise you this, every single person that you talk to can afford these. Everybody. Everybody can afford the super patch technology, and we have what is called a co-op marketing program. Let me ask you this rhetorical question. How would you like to get paid on the volume of customers, the volume that customers generate that the company gathers for us? Everybody just go like this. Yeah, we have that. The company is gathering tens of thousands of customers that we get paid on every single month. The person who invited you here tonight to watch this, they'll explain that part of the program for you. Guys, in my 35 years of building in this profession, I've never seen a company do that. I've never seen a company do it. And it is extremely profitable. It's a big, big profitable stream as far as our income, our compensation plan is concerned. So here's what we got to do. We got to figure out how we take the 15 years that we put into this and the $25 million making the best possible product and make it the best known product. Well, that's where you come in. When you get involved on the income side of what we're doing here at the Super Patch Company, you're going to enroll at what we call an associate. Now, when you enroll as an associate, you obviously have the ability to buy the patches way below wholesale. And when you enroll, you get your own website, you get your back office, it pays for the company to track everything for you, pay commissions, ship out product. You don't have to touch any of that stuff, right? Well, there are different launch kits that you can choose from. But I'm only going to talk about one of them tonight, and that is the Flex 40 kit. Now, you're getting $2,400 worth of patches for $1,300. Guys, it is by far the best value that the company can offer. And you get to choose 40 of the packs of patches that you want. Now, if you're brand new looking at this tonight, you don't even know which patches to choose. The person who invited you will walk you through that process. Now, the question is, what do we do? What do we actually do? Well, we're going to go out and we're going to share this technology with the people that you know. And if you start with your cell phone and you look at your contacts, you're going to notice that some of you have thousands of contacts in your phone. And if you took the time to put those people in your phone, there's a really good chance that you call them. And you guys, the simplicity of this business is that we're going to contact people and say, listen, I found something, I met some people, we need to get together. That's it. And our goal is to simply talk to these people and tell them about what this technology is all about. And they can decide if they want to become a customer or if they want to become an associate, share it with other people and get paid just like you. And we do that over and over and over again. And as people join your team, they go out and share it with others, who share it with others, who share it with others, and you get paid off all of the volume that's generated in your organization. Let me ask you this. Would you like to get paid off the revenue of one McDonald's restaurant or all McDonald's restaurants? Did everybody say all? That's what this is. Because you go get it started with a few people, they go get a few, who get a few, who get a few, who get a few, and you get paid off the volume of everything that is sold in your entire organization. And is it working? Well, check this out. Guys, we launched the super patch that we know today in January of 2023. And in our first year, we did $60 million in revenue. Not a bad first year, right? In 2024, we did $100 million. We're on track this year, 2025, to do over $200 million in revenue from these tiny little patches, right? We're in 30 plus countries. We've already sold 75 million patches, and we have 6 peer-reviewed clinical studies. It's not just us talking about this technology. We've got outside sources that say, hey, listen, we're going to test this, and we're going to publish the results, good or bad. And Jay said, have at it. And all 6 of them, unbelievable results. Plus, our technology has been featured all around the world, including the European Sleep Research Society, the World Psychiatric Association, the International Association for the Study of Pain. We've been featured at Pain Week, which is a pain management congress. And very recently, just this past June, we were featured at Sleep 2025, which is the premier global event in sleep research, which brings together leading experts. And our technology, the Super Patch technology, was featured at every single one of these. One thing that I'm super excited about is that we've got these patches all over the sports world. Guys, we've got professional athletes in the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, the Premier Soccer League over in Europe, the National Hockey League, and all through the NCAA, all over collegiate sports that are using our technology, that are wearing our patches. And I tell people all the time, the reason that these world-class athletes are wearing these patches is because they work. It gives them an edge. And none of these athletes are going to put anything in their bodies or even on their bodies if they think they're going to get fined or even suspended from their leagues. So if world-class athletes are wearing this technology, don't you think you should at least try it? 0 side effects. None of these athletes are afraid to use it because nobody's going to fail a drug test because we have no ingredients, which means we have no side effects, right? The University of Arizona, this just concluded, as a matter of fact. The University of Arizona did their own study on our technology. In fact, their football team, they did a study with their football athletes. And the gentleman that you see in this picture here on the left, his name is Jason, and he's an MD from the sports medicine department at the University of Arizona. And what he's doing in this picture is that he is presenting the results from the Super Patch Power Up study at the American Medical Society for Sports Medicine. Guys, we didn't ask him to do this. The University of Arizona took this upon themselves to say, we're going to test this. And now Jason is shouting the results from the rooftops to people all around the country. And Jay said when this study comes out, he believes that every single Division I athlete in North America will be using our technology. All right, let's wrap this up, you guys. I want you to get excited about where we are today, because in January of 2023, we opened up North America. In June of 2023, we opened up all 27 countries in the European Union. And this year, 2025, we are opening up Turkey, Switzerland, Mexico, and Colombia. And I want you guys to get excited about this. And the reason that we can open up countries so fast is because we have no ingredients. We don't have to get anything approved. All we have to do is get our business licenses approved and we're good to go. But listen, I don't want you to sit back and go, well, I'm not going to get started until we're open in South America or until we're open in Africa or we're open in Australia. No. That's not how it works. Go build this business in your state, in your province, in your town, in your neighborhood. Because when we do open up other countries, you don't want it to be just you. You want to have an army of people who know people in these other countries. And when that happens, the sun will never set on your super patch business. Because right now here in North America, where I'm at, it's going on 7:30. And in a few hours, people in North America are going to go to sleep. But as we go to sleep, the people in Europe are just waking up. So the sun may never set on your super patch business. Guys, I want you to understand where we are, because this is not just another business. It's not just another business. This is a paradigm shift. This falls in the same category as you holding the very first cell phone or the first light bulb before they even knew it existed. That's where you're sitting here tonight. And I want you to get together with the person who invited you to watch this short presentation. Please do not go to sleep tonight with a question. There's not a single question that we don't have an answer to. And I'll be honest with you, the only thing that's missing